The transport shuttle's engines hummed as it approached the Nexus War Academy, a massive orbital station that housed the galaxy's most elite military training facility. Through the viewport, Cadet Marcus Chen watched the structure grow larger, a testament to 10,000 years of galactic warfare and tactical evolution. He was the first human ever admitted. The Academy selection process was ruthless. From over 50 billion candidates across 700 species, only 300 were chosen each cycle. Marcus had scored in the 99th percentile on every examination, but he knew that wouldn't matter once he stepped off the shuttle. As the airlock cycled open, Marcus found himself face to face with his fellow cadets. The Corthani delegation towered at nearly 3 meters tall, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the station's lights. The crystalline Etherians pulsed, with internal energy that made the air shimmer around them. A pack of Vorthak warriors, each weighing over 400 kilograms of pure muscle and bone, stood in perfect formation. And then there was Marcus, 1.8 meters of what the others considered primitive mammalian biology. The human, sneered Cadet Zrixtal, a Corthani whose species had conquered 17 star systems before joining the Galactic Alliance. I've read about your kind. Still using chemical propellants in some sectors, aren't you? Marcus said nothing. He'd learned long ago that actions spoke louder than words. The first month was designed to break them. Combat simulations in zero, gravity, tactical analysis under extreme time pressure, and survival exercises on hostile worlds. The casualty rate was 30% in the first week alone. Marcus watched his fellow cadets excel in their areas of strength. The Etherians processed battlefield data at superhuman speeds. The Vorthak could survive direct hits from plasma cannons. The Corthani could coordinate as a perfect hive mind. But humans adapted. When the oxygen levels dropped in the atmospheric combat simulation, species after species began to fail. The Vorthak, despite their strength, couldn't function, with reduced oxygen. The Etherians' energy consumption skyrocketed as they struggled to maintain consciousness. Marcus, however, drew on 100,000 years of evolutionary adaptation to thin mountain air and kept fighting. During the psychological warfare module, most species either broke under mental attacks or had natural resistances that made them immune. Humans fell into neither category. Marcus felt every psychic assault, every neural manipulation, but he processed them differently. He accepted the pain, integrated it, and used it as fuel. Impossible, muttered Instructor Velnara, a veteran, Corthani warrior with scars from 30 campaigns. The human should have been eliminated weeks ago. But Marcus was still there when half the class had washed out. The turning point came during the leadership assessment. The scenario was simple. A multi-species unit trapped behind enemy lines with conflicting biological needs, communication barriers, and incompatible tactical doctrines. Previous classes had failed this exercise consistently, each species naturally, defaulting to their own evolutionary advantages while dismissing others as inferior. Marcus took command of the simulation. Zrixtal, he called to the Corthani, your people think in 3 dimensions better than anyone. I need you mapping our escape routes through their defensive network. To the Etherian Luxara, you can process their communication frequencies. I need real-time intel on their troop movements. To the massive Vorthak, Grandar, you're our anchor. When we move together, and nothing gets through you to the others. But the stroke of genius came in how he used their weaknesses as strengths. The Corthani's hive mind dependency became a perfect coordination system. The Etherians' energy consumption was channeled into powering everyone's equipment. The Vorthak's oxygen dependence was solved by having the Etherians purify the air in real time. They didn't just complete the mission, they redefined it. Instructor Velnara found herself studying Marcus's approach for weeks afterward. He hadn't led through dominance or superior firepower. He'd led through understanding, seeing not just what each species could do, but what they needed to do it. The Academy's final examination was notorious, a full-scale military campaign simulation lasting 72 hours, with cadets rotating through every level of command from squad leader to fleet admiral. Most cadets specialized, focusing on their species' strengths. Marcus commanded everything. When he led infantry, he fought alongside species 10 times stronger than him, earning their respect through tactical innovation rather than physical prowess. When he commanded starships, he coordinated vessels designed by a dozen different technological paradigms into a coherent fleet. But it was in the strategic overview that Marcus truly shone. While other species saw military doctrine as a series of optimal solutions, Marcus saw it as an ecosystem. He understood that war wasn't just about winning battles. It was about understanding why battles needed to be fought at all. The final scores were unprecedented, not because Marcus had achieved perfection, but because he'd achieved something more valuable: synthesis. 3 days after graduation, Marcus received 2 documents. The first was his assignment to the Frontier Fleet as a tactical officer, the traditional next step for Academy graduates. The second was signed by the Academy Commandant herself. Cadet Chen, the holographic message began. In 300 years of operation, this academy has produced many exceptional officers. We've graduated warriors who could destroy planets, strategists who could outthink quantum computers, and leaders who could inspire entire fleets to victory. What we've never graduated is a teacher. Your tactical scores were excellent. Your leadership ratings were outstanding. But your ability to see potential in others, to create strength from diversity rather than despite it, that's invaluable. Report to Instructor Velnara tomorrow morning. You'll be developing our new multi-species integration protocols. Welcome to the faculty, Instructor Chen. Marcus looked out at the stars through his new office viewport. Somewhere out there, the next class of cadets was preparing for admission. Korthani hive minds, Etherian energy beings, Vorthak warriors, and perhaps another human who thought they were completely outmatched. He smiled. They had no idea what they were capable of, but he'd make sure they found out. After all, that's what humans did best. They saw potential where others saw problems, and they turned impossible odds into inevitable victories. The galaxy was about to learn that the most dangerous thing about humans wasn't their willingness to fight. It was their ability to teach others to fight alongside them.